Today is an extremely exciting day. I've spent the morning kind of wandering around trying to decide what I'm going to do. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with the task that lays before me, but I decided the best place to start would be to get all of the manure piles in order. While this time of year I am always in cleanup mode, getting ready for the winter, this fall is going to look a little bit different because when I'm done cleaning up, we will be heading to our new property.
Curly girl. Frisco Bill.
The last couple of days have been a bit of a whirlwind, and I think Tiny can tell there's something very exciting happening. This has been something that I've been keeping from you guys for a few months now. It has been a long process. We found our dream property and I didn't want to jinx it, so I've been trying to keep a lid on it until it was finalized. Now that it is a done deal, I'm excited to share with you guys a few of the details.
Come on. Oh, stippled girl.
In addition to our new property, there is another very exciting thing that I'm going to go do this evening. I have been looking for the perfect buddy for Nigel for a very long time, and this evening I'm going to go check out a few prospects, and I'm very excited about one of them. Pearl seems to be doing a little bit better than she was last video. She's still a bit on the stiff and tired side, but I'm just keeping a very close eye on her and kind of seeing how it progresses. It's a little bit overwhelming thinking about moving all of the horses and all of my stuff, but I'm trying to do it in little tiny chunks so I don't get overwhelmed. The new property is about a day's drive from here, so it will be a long trip for some of the horses. We are anticipating it taking about a month to get everything moved out and have all of the animals at the new place.
What's wrong, Tiny? You got a lot to say, girl.
Tiny, Huckleberry, and the 3 cats that are at the house will be making the journey as well. Right now, the game plan is to make a few trips down with stuff that goes in the house and all of my things in the barn. To try and make it a little bit easier on the animals, we will be moving them the very last trip that we make. I'm not sure if I'm going to do several trips with the horses myself or if I'll get a convoy going with friends. I also know a commercial hauler who has a giant trailer that would make it really easy. That stuff is still kind of up in the air at this point. Because there isn't a set date that we have to move out by, I can really take my time and not get too stressed out about it. Now that we have our own place though, I am getting more excited every day. I am a little bummed we're leaving Montana, but we just could not find a place that was within our budget and had all of the things we needed. I did some work earlier today around the barn. I cleaned out some of the stalls just in case I need them later on this evening. You guys know the drill. I have to make sure that I have all of the horses taken care of before I even think about getting another one. While I've been waiting for the perfect buddy for Nigel for quite a while, that doesn't mean I get to break the rules. This evening, I still have to drag all of the dry lots. I have to doctor Prim's leg, and I also have to trim Scarlet's feet. All of the other things I have to get done around here are pretty much optional and I can do at any point in time. But before I commit to any more animals, especially since we will be moving soon, I do have to make sure I have everybody lined up with everything they need. Ziggy and the girls have been spending a lot more time in their dry lot because the pasture is getting quite crispy. I've been supplementing their pasture with alfalfa. Pretty much all of the horses are on a full ration of alfalfa now.
More Zig. Hey, Ziggo. We got a bug. Mine's getting real long, Zig. Getting a little swirl.
Prim got a very minor cut on the inside of one of her front legs a few days ago.
Fix your leg.
The vet looked at it when she came out to do the teeth, and it seemed pretty minor, but she's having some issues with swelling. Horses' legs can be really tricky because if you wrap it up top, you've got to wrap the whole entire leg. Otherwise, it'll swell up pretty easily. Prim has had this wrap on for a little bit less than 24 hours. I did put a sweat on it, so hopefully it'll suck out all of the extra inflammation that's going on. It's kind of odd that her leg is having so much trouble swelling. She might just not be walking around as much as she needs to. The product I use to sweat her leg is called Runner's Relief, and I do have to wash it off tonight, and then she'll have the wrap left off for 12 hours and then put back on if there's still swelling. Because Pearl hasn't been feeling well, I have been checking on her multiple times throughout the day.
How are you, girl? Oh, sorry, Mayor. Pearl, sorry, girl.
Pearl and Frisco still have quite a bit of grass left out in this tiny pasture, so they've been getting turned out as much as possible. I did post a short the other day about Pearl. I did find another gigantic enterolith. This definitely came out of Pearl. I found it right in the middle of a giant pile of poop that the birds had started to pick apart. Frisco and Pearl have runs that have at least 8 inches of crusher fines in them, so there's no way that this just magically appeared. There's also a line on the bottom where you can see it's been sitting in some kind of liquid for a really long time. Recently, Pearl and Frisco have been getting a lot more alfalfa hay. I give them more than they need and then clean it up every morning. We're guessing that all the extra fiber and her moving around so much in the pasture the other day probably helped get it out of wherever it was sitting. It is without a doubt the biggest one that I have ever found. Hopefully she is going to feel a lot better now. It is extremely hard to tell if your horse has these. Most people find out accidentally when their horses are colicking or if they go into exploratory surgery. Pearl has had 2 ultrasounds. You can do radiographs to see if there's any in there, but for Pearl, really the treatment would be the same. With her being 27 years old, it is unlikely that she would survive the kind of surgery they would have to do to remove them. She also does have some clotting disorder, so that would make it really hard for her to heal after the surgery. It has been a really long time since I found any, so I'm hoping that this is the last one.
Little Gus.
Little Gus was pretty excited about extra snacks, but I do have to get these chores done before I turn all the horses out for the evening. These mindless chores offer the perfect opportunity for me to make some plans. As soon as we put an offer in on our new house, I started packing. The house that we live in is actually quite small. It's only 900 square feet, give or take. If you guys have been watching for a while, you might remember that I was a full-time seller on eBay before I started YouTube. It's been a little bit hard for me to let go of some of the things that I've accumulated over the last 10 years. With my eye on the prize, I've been selling and donating a lot of stuff and trying to make our move as simple as possible. While I am really gonna miss these mountains, I am pretty excited to not have to spend another winter here. With quite a few of the horses getting up there in age, it will be really nice not to have to worry about them when it's 50 below. With another task checked off my list, I'm gonna bring Scarlet, Prim, and Ziggy in for the night and then get the boys turned out and drag their pen.
Come on, girls. Zig! Come on, girlies. Come on, Zig! Come on, Ziggo!
I did want to thank you guys for leaving so many nice comments on my last video. It seems like 99% of you guys understand what I do with these horses and are very supportive. But that 1% was really just getting under my skin. Thankfully, a few of the bad eggs decided to leave some really opinionated comments, so I was able to weed them out. I'm usually a very patient person, but I really have no tolerance for people that have no manners. I'm really happy to share the horses with this awesome community that has really grown over the last couple of years. Your comments and support really mean a lot to me.
Look at all your bird friends.
I'm really glad I decided to spend all of my time this summer working toward this goal. We looked at a ton of houses in the fall, and then there really wasn't anything on the market over the winter. When spring came around, it seemed like everything we looked at in Montana sold in a day or two. We've been seriously looking for a property for the last 5 years and decided that this summer we were definitely gonna buy something. There were a lot of states that we considered. We tried our hardest to stay in Montana. We looked in Oregon, in Idaho, in Utah, but we decided to settle on Colorado. I'm not sure if the ration balancer that I've been feeding the horses is going to be available where we're moving. I don't want to switch too much in the horses' diets as we're moving, so I'm going to switch them over slowly in the next couple of weeks. Instead of their normal ration balancer, they will now be getting this vitamin mineral supplement on top of soaked alfalfa pellets. I've never gotten anything from this company, but they do a lot of area-specific blends. This one is flaxseed based, and I'm hoping the horses are gonna eat it because I did buy quite a big bucket. This will fill any gaps in their nutrition when we switch them over to Colorado hay. Ziggy and the girls are going to be the first ones to try it. In order to get everything they need, they are going to be getting 3 scoops of this supplement when it's all said and done. I am just going to start them off with one for now. I'm going to mix in a third of their normal ration balancer and then some pellets. Pretty much anywhere in the country I can buy some type of forage pellet, so this should be a better solution for me in case I can't get the ration balancer locally. I could have it shipped, but we are moving to a place that has a lot less people, so it might be tricky to have things delivered. I got distracted for a minute, but Tiny kept me on track. With the upcoming move on the horizon, I'm going to try my best to take in what is left of my time in Montana. This time of year, the sunsets are spectacular and the weather is perfect.
Come on, girls. Come on, mares. Girls. Girls. Zig.
As far as getting the horses ready to travel, pretty much all of them have been hauled quite a bit. The only ones that I am worried about are the young ones that haven't been hauled around, like Prim and Scarlet. Of course, the older ones like Frisco, Nigel, and Pearl are going to need some extra consideration when I go to haul them. I've got time to do a bunch of test runs, so I'm not really worried about it at this point. Out of the boys, I think Whiplash and Goose are probably going to have the most trouble with the move. With Big Gus's PSSM, that is something that I'm also going to have to take into consideration. The more I stew on it, the more I think it would be a good idea if I could find someone to take most of the horses down in one trip. My favorite horse sitter recently moved, so it's going to be a little bit tricky going back and forth and trying to be in two places at once. Thankfully, with the horses out on pasture and in pretty big herds now, they aren't too much trouble to take care of.
Boys. Hey, Whip. Buddy. Oh, you got bites on you, buddy. They biting you up? Hey, Whip. Buddy, they're biting on you. I see they're biting right up. Really biting on you, buddy.
It looks like Whiplash and Studman have been getting into a few little tussles, and Studman seems to be winning. Whiplash is 21 years old, and at half his age, Studman just has more energy to take over the herd.
Stewie! Come on, Whip. Come on, buddy.
These boys are getting supplemental alfalfa at night, even though they do have a big pasture to graze.
Here, Whip. Come on. Oh, boy. Come on, Gus. Gussie.
These boys obviously aren't going to starve to death, but when the grass gets really crispy and short, the sugar content does go up quite a bit. To survive the winter, it's got to store away all that energy, so if the horses would rather eat this alfalfa than the crispy grass, that is totally fine with me.
Come on, Goosey.
Goose is still looking a little bit on the round side, but I can tell he is more muscled up than he was at the beginning of the season. One thing that I am really excited to get going on the new place is a track system, so some of these metabolic horses can be forced to walk around while they're grazing and eating their rations. The new place is right around 40 acres, and I think that is the perfect size for us. Anything bigger would be a little bit too much to take care of, and anything smaller is just something that we would grow out too quickly. The property we purchased is going to work for us for a long time, so that is something that's really exciting. When we were doing our hunt, we were finding that we had to sacrifice a few of the things that we wanted, and we're trying to make it work on a property that wasn't quite right. With how volatile real estate is right now, it is such a relief that we bought a place we don't have to think about selling in a few years. We can build it out exactly as we want, and I think it's going to give me a lot of extra time once I get everyone situated. One thing that I am a little bit sad about is that I won't be able to use all of my manure piles on the new property. Of course, the horses are always making more manure, so I won't have a shortage, but these piles I've been cooking up for a number of years. We've had a crazy amount of rain this summer, and it did spoil a lot of the hay, so that is going to have to be broken down over the next couple of weeks if I want to spread it. I'm not exactly sure what happened here, but I did see Stewie itching his butt on this earlier, and I think he finally snapped it. I did not put in this fence, so I'm not sure if these posts are just tamped in or if there's possibly concrete in the bottom. I've seen horses get really hurt on stuff like this, so I've got to take care of this tonight.
Nigel. Hey, little buddy. You hungry?
With Frisco going out every morning, it's been a little bit easier to catch Nigel every day, and I hate to say it, but I think he's starting to warm up to me. It could also be a trick just to get extra snacks. He is a little bit on the round side right now. I did up his PPID medications, and hopefully that'll do the trick. There is an auction a few hours away that has a lot of good potential buddies for Nigel. I was really hoping to make it down there this evening so I could preview them and get a good idea which ones will work and will not work for Nigel. It's always a surprise what the prices of little ponies will bring. Sometimes they're astronomical, and then sometimes they don't bring hardly any money at all. A lot of that, of course, has to do with the quality of the animal and who shows up for the sale, but I wanted to get a pretty good lay of the land so I could make a decision without being rushed. While I don't think it's imperative that Nigel gets a buddy, I do think that if I find the right one, it will improve his life. With him being a stallion in the past, I've tried multiple different horses and ponies as buddies, and they just did not work for him. With him being so old, it's important that he doesn't get so riled up that he hurts himself. Frisco and Nigel get along really well, but Frisco prefers if he stays on his side of the fence. I used to turn them out together, and then as soon as Nigel figured out he could push Frisco around, he would not leave him alone. I've had a few people ask about goats or sheep for Nigel, and it's important that whatever I decide to get as a companion can be exposed to horse feed. The vitamin and mineral supplements that I feed the horses are pretty high in copper. Goats and sheep are both very sensitive to copper and can get a toxicity without even eating a huge amount of it. If you've got two animals living together, even if you try to separate them, they're always going to nibble on each other's feed. I do think an equine companion would be the best for Nigel. While the preview for the sale is this evening, I can leave extra early in the morning and still look at all of the horses well enough to make an informed decision. It may seem like a silly time to get a buddy for Nigel, but I will have enough time to quarantine them and let them be introduced to each other, and then they can travel to the new house. On the off chance that Nigel does not like his new companion, I also have a number of homes lined up that would be more than happy to take a smaller horse buddy. There's one available that I saw that I think will be the perfect companion, but I'm not going to get too excited about it because there is the chance that they will sell for a bunch of money. I would so much prefer to get something that is needing a little bit of a leg up. If there are a lot of private buyers, then I'm happy to step aside. Of course, where we're going, there are bound to be livestock auctions around where I could possibly find a companion for Nigel as well. This is pretty interesting. This was all manure that I scraped up into a pile in the spring, and it is basically turned into dirt already. Kind of cool. If you guys remember when I scooped this all up, this mound was much bigger. I don't really have any solid plans yet on how the setup is going to be at the new place. Initially, I'll probably set it up similar to what I have now with some dry lots and pasture space. Currently, there is no barn. There's only a little bit of fencing, and most of it is around the perimeter of the property. That is one of the things that I'm a little bit nervous about because I do have to do a bit of work to it before I can actually bring the horses down. At this point in time, it's going to be a lot of extra work for me to move all of the panels that I have here, so I'm probably going to end up selling them and then maybe buy some new ones, or maybe just install a permanent fence right off the bat. I'm not super confident that this newest manure pile is going to break down very quickly. It has so much hay in it that it is going to take a while for all of the little microbes to do their work. Hopefully me watering it and turning it over every couple of days will fast track that process. The dry lots are done. I have fixed kind of the post that is sticking out. That is a much bigger job than I have time for tonight, so I think my temporary fix is good enough for now. It's getting pretty dark out, so I'm going to bring in Frisco and Pearl.
Come on, old boy. Come on, Pearl. Come on, old lady. How are ya? Okay, go on, girl. You're okay.
This old girl is definitely having a bit more trouble moving around lately. With these two old timers in their runs for the evening, I can now pick up the new feed for Ziggy, Scarlet, and Prim. I think in the future it's going to work better if I do a big bucket of pellets and then as they break down, scoop them into the individual buckets. These three usually gobble up their feed pretty quickly, so I don't think I'm going to have any trouble getting these guys to eat it.
Zig. Here you go, Zig. Here you go, Zig. Hold on, girl. I'm coming. Come here, girl.
It's nice that these three get along good enough that their buckets can be relatively close together.
Prim.
These two girls have become so close that they'll even share each other's feed. This evening yet, I still have to trim Scarlet's feet and then also Dr. Prim's leg. Since it's looking like I am not going to be leaving this evening, I might save Scarlet for tomorrow. I've been catching Prim at least once a day, and I think it's really helping Scarlet. She's gotten a bit buddy sour.
Hey, Zig. Hey, Zig. You want to come in?
I know I always say this, but Ziggy keeps getting better and better looking. I think all of the running around with the girls has definitely paid off this summer. While I didn't get to hit the trail with him because I was so preoccupied with our house hunt, I think he is now in perfect shape to go out on some fall adventures when we move. I'm still hoping I can sneak another ride or two in on him before we leave Montana, but where we're moving has some really cool trails to explore as well.
Boy, Zig. Hey, Zig. Oh. Slime. Prim, let's get you, girl. Come on, girls. Go. Come, friend. Girl.
Prim's leg looked exactly how it's supposed to look. It is back to a normal size, so I am going to unwrap it, give it a wash, and then turn her back out for the evening.
I'm coming, Tiny.
I'm so excited to go on this next journey, and I hope you guys will join me. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that so you don't miss any updates. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. With so much to get done, I decided the next morning that it was just too much for me to travel out of town. Thankfully, a few of the little horses I had my eye on for Nigel are available for online bidding, so I'm gonna watch from afar and hopefully I'll be able to make an informed decision about his new buddy.